Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Non-Standard Action. This is episode 13 of Threefold Conspiracy, Returned to Society. Our investigators have finally made it back to civilization, as it were.
Ooh. There's internet here.
As it were.
Well,
I'm sure nothing will go wrong.
Upwell's mostly civilized most of the time.
Lasco is well accustomed to this particular degree of civilization. I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, I would imagine the lower levels of Absalom Station are somewhat similar to Upwell.
Yeah.
Corporate haven, hive of scum and villainy. Everything's incredibly utilitarian. Yeah. But you guys have got this. I believe in you. Before we jump in,
perhaps.
Before we jump into talking more about Upwell and what these guys are up to here on the station, I do have an icebreaker question for the week. This week, we want to know if your character was a flavor of ice cream, what flavor would they be and why? Leif.
First would be one of those interesting artisan like floral flavors like
Lavender.
like lavender or fireweed or something like that.
Hold on, what the heck is fireweed?
Look it up. It's a beautiful Alaskan flower.
Is it like
what?
lavender? Sorry, I muted myself.
No.
It is in fact.
They are very
like
convenient for telling how far you are into the summer, though. They bloom out at the end of the summer.
Well, when your summer is a normal globally warmed summer, that is, but we don't need to get into that.
Leif, I feel like you find a reason to be really annoyed at the beginning of every episode.
Well, to be fair to Leif, it is 8 a.m. in Alaska.
Yeah.
And they and I are not morning people.
Here's the thing, though, like, this world's also kind of falling apart. Like,
Yeah. I definitely empathize.
It's hard for me to not be annoyed.
Adelaide would be dragon fruit. Back on the ice.
Dragon fruit. It's basically just like kiwi with huge seeds.
Right.
I
like it.
Oh, okay.
No, I think that was a good place to just segue into something else, because I don't want to keep going down that pathway right now. Because I'll transfer from annoyed into raging, and we don't need to get there.
No, why?
No, not why were you annoyed? It's why would Iris be that flavor?
It was also appropriate because I don't have a why. It just sounded good.
Oh, you were just trying to distract us, so you didn't have to answer the why. I see how it is.
Good trick.
Liz, since you started, tell us about Adelaide and why she's dragon fruit.
Because I was trying to think of like a pink fruit that isn't all that it appears. And there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, are they
what about
pink on the
Lasco?
outside and white on the inside?
Yes.
Or what? Okay, cool. So I actually had some difficulty with this one. I had to go to Wikipedia to get a list of ice cream flavors because I was like getting nothing but chocolate and vanilla. But one spoke out to me, which was salted licorice, which seemed like something that would appeal to Lasco, and I guess me, like the bitter flavor. Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. You're gross.
Why is Lasco salted licorice?
Oh, he isn't salted licorice. He just likes it. Oh wait, is it what we are or what we would like to consume?
What you are.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't understand how someone can be an ice cream flavor.
That's okay, Simon.
Classic
A lot of things are hard for robots to process.
There's too much meat to be ice cream.
Maybe he's a dyspepsian. Brain slugs, they have all the memories, but they can't assign value to memories the way that normal people can. It's all there. Just don't get it. Maybe he's not a robot at all. Maybe he's just a dyspepsian brain slug.
I thought salted licorice was a good answer. Thanks.
No, it was a great.
It was a good answer for the wrong question.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I appreciate.
I reject your
enthusiasm.
question and replace it with my own.
I appreciate your dedication in going and looking up ice cream flavors to find one.
Thank you.
Tom, what about Ogden?
So Ogden would be this this like bourbon. So I've recently I've been inspired by a certain ice cream brand's limited edition, and you know me, it's even with Pronking ice cream, if it says limited edition, I have to try it. So like I got this ice cream, and it's like bourbon sweet cream, and it's really, really good. It's basically just a bourbon ice cream with brown sugar, like swirls in it. Very sweet.
That does sound really good.
Yeah, if you don't like sweet things, it probably like this would be an overload. But so I'm thinking the reason that Ogden would be this bourbon sweet cream ice cream is because it's, you know, he's pretty. It looks like I don't know. He's a Vesk on the surface, but at the same time, you know, he has some hidden traits and stuff like that, and that's the brown sugar swirls.
He's so sweet.
I mean, he can be. He hasn't been given many reasons to be sweet in this terrible fight for our lives. But yeah,
He's like a cuddler to me. I bet he's a great cuddler.
Mm-hmm.
Even with his elbows?
Well, you're a good cuddler, and you've got elbows.
That's fair.
So, yeah,
It's true. One can be pointy and still good at cuddling.
Mm.
It's a true fact.
I believe you just have an innate -2 to the cuddle check is how that works.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
but anybody-
put skill ranks in it. You know,
anybody can roll a 20.
Anybody can roll a 20.
True. It takes skill focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skill
Just 'cause
focus.
you're innately
Cuddling.
bad doesn't mean you can't get good. Just get
Mhm.
good at cuddling.
All right, let's make our name in
So-
this station.
Yeah. So you guys arrived at Upwell, and you landed without any real problems, which isn't surprising since regulation on Upwell is pretty lax. Let me scroll back up to the things that you guys know about Upwell. It's run by the corporations that sort of control Lavara, and orbits the planet above Roselight, its sister city, right? While there is a corporate police force here, really, they're here to protect the corporations. They don't care about little people. So if you're not causing problems for the bigwigs, they're not going to bother you generally. And you know that you need to find the OCI and get your visas to get to Roselight. It's the only legal way to go to Roselight, is to get visas here. You don't want to get branded as a troublemaker. This is both Upwell and Roselight are totally corporate-run enterprises that are very, very protective. Think you're dealing with, if you're not the 1%, you're sort of garbage. So don't get in trouble. But you managed to secure a docking slip and came in. You got off.
I guess to interrupt with a question.
Yeah.
You say like don't get in trouble, but it's not clear like who gets to decide what trouble is. Like who are the authorities here? You said that
The
there's
corporate police force
okay,
here on Upwell.
which is not these guys.
You don't suspect so, no.
But they are like around.
They are around, yes.
Okay.
But especially Lasco, being from sort of that underworld life, or at least having the memories of it, probably knows that there is a very healthy gang presence on Upwell. And they actually act sort of like the mafia did in the days that the police really only protected the rich. They sort of police the working class.
or like Lasco's gang did.
Or like Lasco's gang sort of did, yeah. So there are gangs, but they try and keep themselves under the radar, and sort of act as police force for the working class people that the corporate police doesn't protect. So, yeah. Anyway, you guys landed. You got off. the ship and were promptly approached by 3 rough-looking androids. And they came up to you. Like I said, they're tough-looking, but they said something to the effect of, "Excuse me, you owe a collective sum of 2,000 credits in docking fees before you can continue on to the station."
Start this session off right then with a sense motive check.
Yeah, I'd also like to know like how prominent these guys are. Are they like from a gang that has a lot of influence here, or are they just like 3 dudes looking for some money?
Give me a culture check.
I've got a 20 on my sense motive check, but it's technically a 25 to sense lies.
I have a 31, but technically a 36 since it's underworld.
33.
Yeah, these guys definitely don't. They're just after your money. They don't believe you actually owe these docking fees. You guys get that with your sense motive checks. You know, maybe there's something about the way they're dressed. And you've already paid your docking fees. Like
Iris,
they're not legit. Lasco, with your culture check, you sort of look them over in their clothes, and you do recognize them as dock smiths. They could, they have some influence, particularly in this region of the station. And they would be better friends than enemies. Because if they're your friends, they're going to make sure your ship doesn't get messed with at the very least. So.
All right.
Iris just scoffs, walks around behind Lasco, and starts walking this direction, and completely ignoring them.
Oh gosh. Lasco will put a hand on Iris's arm to try to get him to stop moving, and then we'll distract them by saying, "Gentlemen, a pleasure to make your acquaintance. My associates and I are new on this station. We have already paid our docking fees. I'm sure you understand, and I understand that papers can get in order here, but we would be happy to work with you to familiarize ourselves with this station, since we know that the docksmiths are powerful actors here."
All right, you can either have a free assist to somebody else's diplomacy check with that very, very nice bit of role playing.
I'll try to nudge Miss Fortwith forward.
Okay. Miss Fortwith applies her +1 cantrip.
+1 lip gloss.
Yes, her +1 lip gloss. And steps forward and says, yes, and says, "Yes, gentlemen, thank you so much for your concern about making sure we filed the correct paperwork. I can produce a receipt showing that we have, in fact, booked, but perhaps you meant perhaps you're here to collect a small fee in order to protect our ship from other unsavory characters in the area." And also, I've forgotten to do her accent. Sorry, guys.
Lasco is slightly more angling toward doing something for them instead of paying them credits.
No.
Well, roll the
yeah.
diplomacy anyway.
Yeah, let's see this.
See how it goes.
Ooh. That's only a 17. Oh, wait, no, whoa. Okay, so I have an ability that I actually got last level, where I can once a day re-roll something. So that's what I'll do.
Nice. You do also have 2 re-rolls in the queue if you want to use one of those and save yours for a emergency. Unless yours is like specific to diplomacy.
Yeah, you should use yours because only you can use that, and anyone can use the.
Yeah. So that's now a 23.
My +2.
Nice.
It's +2 to 25.
Well.
Oh, okay.
We can come to an agreement, I think. You know what? We like your moxie. Give us 1,000. You know, we'll make sure that nobody messes with your ship.
Do Do we think we could do that at 1,000?
Could we also, with the 1,000, could we also secure a meeting with the higher ups in your gang so we can discuss various business opportunities we'd like to offer?
All right, a founder's fee.
As we descend into talks, rather than fighting and such with the essentially the gang, Iris just is folding their arms, just obviously not happy about this in the back, but they've shut their mouth because they've learned to just let Lasco and Adelaide do their thing.
Lasco appreciates it. Sorry, what did they say, Nick?
Yeah, they said, I'm sure that could be arranged.
All right, then Lasco will count, how do you give credits to someone? I guess, get out and
play Venmo.
Yeah, give them a code that is worth 1,000 credits debited from them.
I always assumed it was I always assumed it was technology like what we have today. It's just kind of you tap one cred stick to the other one after telling it to assign a certain number of credits, and it just transfers them.
Oh, see, cred sticks are sort of like Tupperware. Mm-hmm. You just sort of give them away. They're so cheap. So I imagine to load cred sticks with preloaded amounts. You have a couple with 100 credits and a couple with 1,000. And you just sort of carry them around as cash.
You could probably even And
I'm sure you can tap them on your commune and be put 1,000 credits on this one. Bank.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I tried to put $1,000 in our loot sheet and it didn't work. Or -1,000, and that didn't work. I'm sad. I bet there's an absolute value.
Oh, that's what you were talking about before. Now I understand.
I'm a fool. I should have checked this before. Well, we'll figure out the logistics later.
Oh, yeah. It's also easy for us to just
a fool,
take
but an honor
out of each bar.
Yeah. So, but with that, they wish you a good day and they head on their way. I'm going to move you guys to this. This does count as a success.
Do they also tell us where we can find their bosses?
Sure. If that's a scene you guys want to play later, we can.
Sure.
But you've already done all you need to do to secure their help to fast track visas.
Yeah. I'm just part of the bargain was getting a meeting with them.
Yeah. They absolutely tell you that they will. They'll set something up. Move you to this lovely picture of Upwell for the time being.
I look forward to a long and profitable relationship with the docksmith. Well, short and profitable.
Very short.
And y'all are sort of free to go on your merry way. You have access to the entire station.
Thank you for your patience, Marshall. I appreciate that was not your usual mode of operation, but you have to understand that we are in a different place and you lack the structures that you thought you did.
Iris just sort of nods begrudgingly. But they're kind of they're still processing everything.
Big
and not
big
having
brother.
not having an easy time of it either.
Well, Adelaide's going to do the first thing that she does whenever she, 1, comes back from a long trip, and 2, arrives in a new place and needs to get a lay of the land. She gets a haircut. Well, she gets her hairs did.
Let's go first. Make sure brings everyone into a circle and establishes what our procedures are. We certainly need to get a lay of the land. Your instincts, as always, are good, Ms. Fortwith. But remember that our primary objective here is to find new identities and get authorization to go to Roselight. We also have a lot of resources that we need to liquidate, and I already have some ideas about how we can do that.
Iris shakes the null space chamber. There's a clanking sound from inside, which there's not supposed to be.
Yes, we have accumulated.
Very cool.
We have accumulated quite a lot of materials. a lot of wires, gold wires. I still don't know why.
Weirdly,
a
lot of
on
platinum wire.
I mean, you're in a great
Really
place to sell like used copper wire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, they just have really high grade conductors there.
Fell off the back of a truck.
This is the perfect place to liquidate stuff that fell off the back of a truck.
Exactly. Yes, I will try, and I think it might be a good idea to get some biotech augments while we're here, so I don't have to perform surgery on myself again.
Yes, I was interested in couple augmentations as well. I'll follow you there. Let's meet back up in 3 years.
Iris just kind of nods, puts their hands in their pockets, and starts walking down the road looking for an armorer.
Yeah, you guys find that Upwell has pretty much anything you could want to buy, you can find here, and there seems to be no regulation on the market whatsoever. There, you pass brothels and spaced opium dens and all sorts of things. Yeah, and there is a thriving biotech industry. Not quite as active on Upwell as it is down in Roselight, as Ogden knows. The elites all live in Roselight.
Yeah, the shops will look a little cleaner in Roselight and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you could definitely find people here, and with your knowledge, you're able to use that theme bonus you have, and find somebody who sort of gets a wholesale and get your discount there.
Nice.
Ooh, can you give that discount to us, or just your augments and you yourself?
The GM in me thinks I should probably only get it for myself, but I will confirm the text of the actual theme, and I'll see how it goes. And also, I mean, Nick.
Honestly, theme bonuses aren't huge, and you've already found the merchant, so to me, it just sort of makes sense that, like, as long as Lasco is with you, like, and there's no reason, like, you guys could totally, like, game it. He hands you the credit for it. But you found the guy to do it for 10% less, so yeah, you can use your bonus there.
You're kind and benevolent.
I just like the idea of buying augmentations, like, wholesale in bulk, just like, here's a dozen dark eye capacitors.
Here's 6 sets of special eyes. Here's 5 respiration compounders.
Do what you want.
You want to restore.
What you found is the guy who, like, gets them, but they're like the weird colors that nobody wants to buy,
Uh-huh.
And that's why they're 10% off, because these are like the overstock ones.
They're
so,
like,
Lasco, do you want the
grown organs? They're just they're the misshapen ones. They still work. They just don't look appealing.
Right? There's
like,
something
like
a little
fruit.
bit off about every single one.
So, Lasco, do you want the hot pink special eyes or the neon green special eyes?
One of each, agent.
The hot would totally suit me.
Excellent. Pink, green. That'll really help us go undercover. Not distinctive at all.
Well, it is distinct from the picture in the APB.
No, this is very true.
You don't have to. I read a thing about a guy who tried to disappear, basically, and the thing about disguises is you don't have to look like a good version of something. The most effective disguises generally make you look trashier or older or, whatever. That's way easier to do.
Because then they pay attention to that instead of what you look like.
Yeah. Just nondescript.
And or avert their eyes, right? Like the like societal pressures to not go on.
Yeah, there was a French noble who, like, murdered his family and just sort of walked away because he just looked like an average 50-year-old whitish French guy, and he just vanished. No one's ever found him.
Well, the story that I think, the article that I think Liz is referencing is this guy who, like, he like had some sort of game where like if people could find him, like
and
they would earn some amount of, and say a key phrase, and like they would like earn some amount of money. And he was like going to some sports event. And instead of like disguising himself as nondescript, he just like completely shaved his head and like wore really flashy clothing. And as he walked by two people, they were like, "Yeah, I don't know. He could be any of these."
Yeah, he gave himself like a receding hairline and put on like a clown nose, and I think like drew or painted the.
Oh yeah, he painted his face. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like not
the colors
nondescript
of
at all.
He was supporting,
Honestly, people are bad at looking.
All right,
so
yeah.
And identifying people. Like we're not great at it, honestly.
Yeah.
This is why eyewitness testimony is trash. But anyway, you guys find these sketchy biotech dealers. You get your new eyes.
And new legs. And new skin.
Yeah, you guys are in surgery like all day, aren't you?
But it's like a spa.
Yeah, it's like an hour per level. An hour per level of the augment. So Ogden's under for like.
The 3 hour metric was wrong.
Yeah, Ogden's down for 10 hours. Because he's getting. Can I go into what I'm getting actually? Like, do you want us to? We could share some of the cool things that we're getting.
Yeah, if you guys want to. Give the audience some highlights. That'd be cool.
Yeah, and we hit level 7 as well. We've got so much to talk about. So in terms of augments, Ogden is, or should I say, Ogden? Yeah, you know I brought that joke back. So Ogden. Thanks, Nick. Ogden is getting some morphic skin, which is from the armory. And funnily enough, it makes you sort of like a reptoid, because it over the course of 10 minutes you can change major features of your body. And I don't know how the reptoid process happens and stuff like that, whether it's on a DNA like a genetic level or whatnot, but you can make yourself look like, with the advanced morphic skin, which is what Ogden is getting, or scales I should say for Ogden, because he's not going to be a skin vesk. That's not a thing. It makes my skin crawl. But you can change yourself into a different humanoid. You've got to be of the same type of creature. So if you were an aberration, you would have to be an aberration, and so on and so forth. But I can change into any humanoid. I can change my gender. I could alter my height by up to a foot in either direction. And I could appear older or younger.
Wait.
What?
Very fancy skin.
I used my skin to grow a foot.
Well,
it's
no worse than sold me on this.
It's no worse than what was it, Simon, that we found last night looking at augments? The growth gland.
Yeah. You enhance your bones so that you can increase a full size category.
You turn a dragonkin into a huge dragonkin just because their bones grow.
My bones are telescoping. Just hold on a second.
Yep.
The morphic skin is much less gross, honestly, because they're implanting magical glands under your skin with transmutation magic.
Yeah.
So
this is just I'm getting magical skin put in under my scales. It's fine. It's not gross at all. And then Ogden also gets
skin to begin with.
Ogden also gets brain augmentation called the cerebral countermeasures, which allows him to spend a reaction to get a bonus against mind affecting spell effects.
Let me grab that one too.
He's a bit paranoid now, it turns out. So I don't even feel metagamey getting this thing that's obviously probably going to be useful.
Sorry, what was that one called again, Ogden?
Cerebral countermeasures. I will link you to Nethys.
Thanks.
In our chat. Yeah. But that's all Ogden can afford.
Oh, crutch. Those are expensive. Never mind.
Yeah, they are. Honestly, I don't know if it's worth it for a +2 circumstance bonus, but we'll see. Ogden's down for 10 hours because of that. The whole day.
Yeah, Alaska's down for about the same amount of time at the same place. I imagine it's sort of like, I guess this is sort of a classic trope when you discover you're a clone. You like try to differentiate your body And I think that's roughly what's going through Lasco's head. Probably not consciously, but he emerges at the end of this day with different eyes, different legs, and different skin. His eyes restructured to be able to see in the dark. His skin restructured to be resistant to electricity, and his legs restructured to move faster. So a lot of defensive stuff.
So these two tell you guys that they're going to be gone for 3 hours, and then they're going to check in.
No, Lasco's smarter than this. As soon as he'll give them an updated deadline, end of day.
Yeah,
okay, okay.
How long? How long is this going to take? And then we tell them.
You guys get to the clinic, and then you sort of schedule out the surgery, and then you're like, oh, we're going to be here all day. You shoot your friends a text message.
Yeah.
So shortly after you separate, you guys, Iris and Adelaide will get a ping from these two that they're going to be out all day. So you guys also have a whole day to, do your thing. I know Adelaide wants to go get her hair done. Is there anything else?
Honestly, she'd also like that skin. That skin sounds good. And the seeing in the dark, she's sort of like to be able to see in the dark. She has disguised self, and I'm like, for an hour, but then I'm like, you know what? No, I want to be an elf. That'd be hilarious.
The one that Ogden picked up is the more expensive version, but I think he has the cards to do it. So
I do.
So after your haircut, you can track them down and spend your whole day in surgery too.
Yes, although how long does the skin thing take?
It's level 4, so it's 4 hours to but doing the actual function of the skin is 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
so transforming is.
Oh, I meant the skin surgery. So she's out for 4 hours.
The skin installation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The skin surgery is 4 hours.
Skin installation. That's what it's called.
Goodness gracious.
I don't know why you all keep me around. So, all right, yeah. So 4 hours for that.
And then you get your hair did.
And then I get my hair did, and I collect information that way with a bunch of. Well, let's see. So I've got the charming veneer gives the +1 circumstance bonus to charisma checks, and you can attempt a diplomacy check to gather information in only 10 minutes.
Nice.
Which is what I figure she does while she's getting her hair did.
Yeah. Chatting up a hairdresser is a great way to find information.
Absolutely.
So you.
Would you like me to roll that?
Start talking with your. Well, I actually already gave you guys this stuff in advance, figuring that you would do this. But for the sake of, sort of doing it live, you get to talking about visas, down to Roselight, and the hairdresser. Is saying it takes 6 months to get your paperwork through, unless you're one of those rich corporate types who can afford first class passage. But sometimes people get really cushy corporate jobs, and that'll get them through faster. Corporations push it through. But they're really the only ones with any influence around here.
Corporate. I could do corporate.
Wait, so the gang that we worked with, it doesn't have much influence?
I mean, they do, and that counts as a success for you guys for getting them fast tracked. I'm just giving. You need mechanically, your characters obviously don't know this, but mechanically, you guys need 3 things. You need 3 successes to get your papers.
Okay, and we can get them from different organizations.
Right, and you can get them from different places, and then it all sort of adds up to get your paperwork pushed through in a timely manner.
So we're not stuck here for 3 months.
6.
Oof.
I got it.
Yeah.
So
sitting ducks.
And she mentions that Ace Piss Consortium, Hexane Fuels, and Fairwinds are some of the big local companies that tend to sponsor people going down to Roselight. I'll put those in good chat for you so that
Thank you.
Much obliged.
you have them. Meanwhile, I suppose, Iris, your friends messaged you and were like, we're going to be in surgery all day.
Yeah, Iris just kind of reads the text. Or not even like that, because it's in their brain. So they're walking, and all of a sudden there's this little ping, and all of a sudden
on their HUD.
They just kind of like, they just zone out for a second reading the text. And they don't audibly sigh, but there's definitely a sigh somewhere internally or in the universe dedicated to this moment. And they just kind of continue shopping. They're going to be looking for a new suit of heavy armor because Iris is still wearing their level 2 armor that they had from the beginning of the game.
That's
but
impressive.
once that's figured out...
Yeah, how are you not dead?
I know, right? I don't know, Simon.
Waiting for a heavy armor to drop this whole time, and it just has not happened. Now it's going to happen. You jinxed it.
No, of course. Of course. After I've spent those 5,000 credits.
Yeah, you find an armor shop pretty easily enough. You encounter the same kind of thing, some of this tech is like barely legal. And obviously they're asking exorbitant prices for it. But it's obvious that this place will sell anything and everything. You do also notice, sort of as you're walking around, that there's like security cameras on every hecking corner.
Good thing Iris, and I will remind folks of this now, good thing Iris has utilized their impersonation matrix to change their hair color to a boring brown and their skin to a normal, ugly, fleshy toned color instead of the natural and triune given gray and purple. And just kind of like pulls their baseball cap a little lower on their face. The classic, I'm trying to be discreet.
The Captain America look, where he's like, where he goes to his own freaking museum exhibit wearing a baseball cap.
Right.
You guys have protagonist powers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They conveniently work until they don't for plot.
Right.
Of course.
Yes.
Iris doesn't seem like a triune guy, though.
The god of androids. It's literally the god of androids.
Not really lawful, right? I guess I've always found Iris to be more about the law than about like I'm an android. Like,
Iris doesn't know what they're about right now.
Fair enough.
That said, shopping doesn't take nearly as long as all of this. So Iris is actually going to find themselves back at the ship, working on a little pet project of their own.
What's that?
I sure hope we get to come back around to. I want it to be a surprise.
Oh, you want it to be a surprise. Okay.
Yeah.
So Iris is working on something.
Iris is it starts off the first bit exploring more market channels and also potentially looking into any salvage operations that they might be able to go check out and potentially haggle at.
Yeah, absolutely. Like everything comes through here. And while they crack down pretty hard on space piracy and things like that, somebody's got to pick up the remains of those space stations that the flotilla command knocks out of orbit. So there's probably a lot of scrap that's been dragged back to Upwell over the years. This is the industrial center of the area. So that's easy enough for you to find. And drag home all the parts you need.
Adelaide tries. Oh, it reminds Adelaide of her childhood, and she finds somewhere else to be.
You have somewhere else to be. You're in surgery right now.
Yeah, I know.
But yes, this whole place probably reminds you of your childhood. It is industrial and utilitarian, and it smells like the air filters haven't been changed in too long. Yeah, the water tastes funny. Like, yeah, it is one of those kind of places. Iris, at some point during the day, you get a weird message that says, "I know who you are." It's anonymous.
Oh Lord. Nothing. No way to like respond to it or anything. Just from an anonymous source.
From an anonymous source.
Iris just kind of rolls their eyes and keeps going about doing whatever it is they're doing when they get that message, tinkering around on some part of the ship or something.
Fair enough. Late in the day, these three will return with their shiny new eyes and skins and legs.
And brains.
Iris just kind of gives them one of these as each one approaches, and just nothing else. Nothing else to be said. You do notice that they. No, you're good. You'll notice the one other thing that Iris did was go and sit for a tattoo. They now have a glorious tattoo of three interconnected circles on their. It's up here on their shoulder. Right now they're dressed down in in their engineers' clothes. It's just a grease-stained tank top and some black slacks.
Do we recognize they're cosplaying as Gur, I was going to say.
One at a time. What'd you say, Nick?
You traded in the steward's uniform, huh?
Oh, no. Iris still has it. They just haven't been wearing it. Sorry, what did you say, Liz?
Iris is cosplaying Gur right now.
Low key, yes.
I see.
Do we recognize this symbol when we look at it, Leif? Is it
it's
like a widely known symbol, right? thing? Or?
It's the triune symbol. Yeah.
Okay. Neat.
Embracing the one thing you are certain to be true of yourself. Almost. Kind of. Sort of. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, this is an interesting conundrum for an android, right?
Yeah.
Like, androids are already, like, to some people, a questionable life form, right? Like, they're made, but then they have consciousness and stuff like that. But then being a cloned android, like, that's pretty weird.
It is crazy.
A copy of a synthetic life form.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Iris, is your surprise something they're going to notice when they return to the ship right away?
I believe it would be. Yeah, it would be something that they noticed. First off, the ship has been worked upon. The ship is being updated, but you notice there's what can only be described as a rusted out frame of a much smaller ship sitting next to it. that when you come back, Iris is mid installing into a launch tube that has been installed in the ship.
Iris, what do we have here?
Well, this is precautions, if you will. This is the it was. And they kind of like look on the site again, trying to remember what the name of the ship used to be, and it's in like faded lettering on the rusted hull. It says the Guppy. It's the Guppy. That's right. Awful name. I'm probably going to change it, but yeah, this is. I went down to the scrap shops and picked up a little interceptor that we can launch in combat if we need to. Of course, I would be piloting it because I have all of the best skills, but yeah.
And while you're piloting it, who will be piloting our ship?
You, Mr. Lasco, you, of course.
Lasco looks at his ranks in piloting and doesn't see any.
They are a 0. It'll be good for emergencies.
Indeed.
Irish just flies away and leaves you.
Interesting. Maybe I'll try to learn to fly myself. Who knows?
All right. Did anyone get any leads? Miss Fortwith, I believe you were gathering information.
My new best friend Trixie told me that it would be advantageous to get a job, hence the new haircut. And she's got sort of like a bob, like it's a very corporate bob.
Nice.
And she's engaged her skin to make herself look like an elf. So she's tall, but being skinny isn't really a problem. Anyhow, so yes, we have a couple of options. I was going to apply for a job at... Oh, wait, what were the names of the different places?
Aspis Consortium, Hexane Fuels, and Fairwinds.
Yes.
Got enrolled money.
What does Fairwinds do?
Yeah, let's do some checks to figure out those.
Somewhere. Give me, while I find it, give me culture checks.
All right.
It's 16. Adelaide gets a 24, though. Oh, Ogden's got a
27.
But Adelaide's actually counts 5 higher, effectively.
I already factored that.
Well, that is the 24.
Yeah. So the 3 of you, Lasco, you know less about these corporations.
They're not scummy enough for me to know about.
Right. But I'll give you at least what they do. So Fairwinds is Lavara's largest gas corporation. Adelaide, Iris, Ogden, you know that it's he was they're one of the early CEOs was the one who expanded Roselight into like a real city years ago. He's sort of the architect behind Roselight being as nice as it is, added domes, parks, all that kind of stuff. He was the first human to occupy the OCI's executive chair many, many moons ago. And the Fairwinds building is like right at the center of Roselight. They're huge.
Many moons ago, I see what you did there.
They're great. Carabelle Hark has been dead for a century. Their great granddaughter, Breg Castrovan, is the current CEO, which is more than you really need to know to get a job there. But some fun trivia there. Aspis Consortium has a huge and sprawling history that is beyond the scope of this adventure. And we're not going to get into all of that. They're
at a high level, though.
Is anybody really sure what Aspis does? Honestly? A little bit.
Aren't they super sketchy and
they're like evil
semi-illegal
right?
most of the time?
Yeah. Nobody, like, they're all their, yeah. Nailing down exactly what the Aspis Consortium does is hard. What we know is they're corporate and they tend to be sketchy. They make a lot of money and they don't really care how they do it. They might be killing dreamers.
Oh.
I wouldn't put it past them.
Like Amazon.
That feels like it would be a much bigger deal if that was widely thought.
Yeah, no, it's probably not widely thought. But generally...
But you heard a rumor.
Yeah, think of Aspis like Amazon.
All right.
I'm sure somewhere it's written down what they're supposedly actually doing, but I don't have it off the top of my head, and it's not in this book. So, Hexane Gas is, or Hexane Fuels rather, is another gas company. They're not the biggest member of the corporate authority, but they are quite popular. They're generally liked by the public. They own the local arena here in Upwell, where Stormball is played, sport unique to gas giants. So they're pretty popular. But yeah, they're just another gas company, and they're a smaller one. Yeah.
Sound innocuous enough.
Okay.
Which one of those sounds the best, then, in your opinion, Miss Fortwith, for infiltration to get us onto Roselight?
Well, you can get anything from Amazon, but I know that some of us, and she glances over to where Iris is working on something, some of us would
got a spanner banging on the hull of that ship.
Yeah, that's how you do things. That's how you do mechanics.
The entirety of this restoration is going to be done through percussive maintenance.
Deep Black Galactic taught me that to repair any device, all you do is hit it with a hammer.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. Thank you for picking that up.
Yeah. Lesko will suggest, in general, when you're in a new area, you want to work your way up from the slightly smaller players.
We already have an in with the docksmiths.
The docksmiths would be a good place to start.
That's what you were implying.
I was implying a couple of things. The docksmiths would be one, but also the smaller gas company. That was, I think, Hexane.
Hexane, which is, by the way, a gas.
Cute.
We all have enough culture to realize that if you get a job, you're probably going to have to go to corporate training for at least a couple of days.
I've done it before.
Even as a contractor?
I mean, you're going to have to keep up the charade until your visas come through.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
you're going to have to work or go to training or something.
Oh, so we would need to pretend to be planning to work full time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Lesko is uncomfortable with this deception.
Yeah, do we all have to do that?
To get mechanically to get a success on that one, yes, you would all have to get corporate jobs.
Oof, gross.
To get corporations to sign off. But there are other ways to do it too.
I was going to say, let's explore some other routes here before we all go become corporate stooges.
I mean, but you could become corporate stooges until your visas get pushed through and then quit. You just have to work for them long enough that your visas get pushed through.
Yeah. I get that. That. I just have other things I want to do with my time over the next couple of days rather than...
Yeah, that's... Lesko has done a lot of things to get where he was, or where he thought he was, but that was not one of them. Let's meet with the Ducksmiths first. Maybe they'll have an idea about what other avenues we can pursue.
Yes, and I'll simply set up my email to send me alerts when appropriate positions open up.
Sure.
I'll be forwarding the applications to you.
Of course.
Ogden will clear his throat as talk dies down of the actual plan and say, I've been thinking, and I admit some of this inspiration comes from Iris's new tattoo. Or old tattoo? I don't know. This is the first time I've seen it. But I was thinking that it might be a good idea for us all to get some sort of tattoo, some sort of mark, some identifier on our bodies. If we are going into situations where there are shapeshifters and deception and deceit, it might be good for us to mark ourselves in some way. You three are the only ones that I can trust right now. And I would like to have a surefire way, if we get separated, to determine that you are the same person that I can trust.
Iris says, that's a very good thought. In fact, I'm one step ahead of you here, and they show you actually the palms of their hands like this, and when they put them together like this, previously an unseen tattoo reveals itself, similar to the Starfinder insignia.
Yes,
it's not the Starfinder insignia. It's another interlinked three circles.
This was proposed
the point
in the early day.
The only difference is that they hide, so like it's not something that people are really going to see unless Iris shows them. And yes, I've spent the 25 credits to get a Starfinder insignia, like subdermal thing, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yes, you may not be surprised to know that this was proposed in the early days of my crew. And eventually I rejected the idea because such identifying marks can be used by our enemies as well as each other. That said, you are correct that we have a new issue that my crew did not have to deal with. An abundance of shapeshifters.
Yes. Nobody plays shapeshifters, I think.
Suddenly 3 shapeshifters burst through the door, all wearing red.
No one expects the shapeshifters.
Yes, if there's technology, then that could make tattoos that are particularly difficult for shapeshifters, like reptoids or what was the other one, an astrozoan, to imitate. That may seem worthwhile.
It could also be something like Iris has shown us, where it isn't obvious, it isn't apparent until we do something to activate it. That way, the secrecy, because of course I understand, you don't want to just have a tattoo on your forehead that says, hey, you can trust me, because then everybody can copy that, right? But
a tattoo on your forehead that says shoot the other guy.
Yes,
exactly. Ghost is right. We just need to get encrypted keys.
Yeah, you need to get the encryption tattoos is what you need.
Oh, cool.
There's a thing.
There's an item for that.
Yeah, the Android abolitionist front uses them to identify each other.
Oh.
Retconning, that's what Iris got instead.
Yeah. Wasn't Iris, do I remember something about the Android abolitionist front with Iris, or am I just remembering a different reality?
You're remembering a different reality where Iris was going to be part of the Android abolitionist group instead of the stewards.
Okay.
All right.
Iris
so
actually,
yeah. Those are probably legal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, probably. Ogden would say, I would probably feel most comfortable doing it in our own medical lab, so this way nobody else in the world knows about these things.
Of course. Yes.
So
this is a good suggestion, Agent.
Yeah, and you have to be within 60 feet of another being with an encryption tattoo and use your code word to activate it.
Nice.
And it's magic item, I believe.
Yeah, can we afford it? It sounds fancy.
Encryption
the
tattoo.
Basic agent one is level 1, is 50 credits.
Oh, that's all good.
Oh, that's fine. And we can't afford the level 8 one, which is the next step up. So yeah,
that one gives DR.
I'm willing to throw down 50 credits.
that
one gives DR. That's wild.
The level 8 one gives DR.
Unnecessary. I have
DR5.
natural DR.
Oh, but that's incredible.
That's what feats are for.
Yeah.
All right.
Just out of curiosity, how much does that 8th level one cost?
8,900.
Oh, it's not terrible for 5 DR.
Yeah. There's a armor augment that gives you DR5 for 7,000 or something like that. Mm-hmm. So really, with the added benefit of being able to, show that you're a secret agent of some kind, or a member of some secret team.
Ogden can really walk around now and say, Ogden, secret agent, and just show him
just
that too.
Palm. Yeah. So
that's your code word.
Yes, it is done. The one question remaining is, what do our tattoos look like? And do they all match?
Well, they obviously have an encrypted opponent, so they can't match perfectly, but the overarching design can be the same. What would be?
And they are encryption tattoos do tend to resemble Android circuits.
Oh, cool! All right.
Particularly obvious on non-Androids when they show them to people, but they're usually hidden anyway.
Well, that can be a different design, right? we're not getting Android tattoos. We're getting encrypted tattoos.
Yeah.
Like I assume that the same algorithm.
They're invisible magical tattoos.
Yeah.
So what I'm reading here is that it's an invisible tattoo that then appears, and yeah, I mean it could look like Android circuitry at that point if you show it, but then you're gonna hide it again after you've shown it, right? So I'm fine with it looking like Android circuitry.
Yeah, it's not thematic though.
It works for Iris.
Yeah, like it works.
Well,
for
yeah,
Iris, but like
true.
if we have if you want some common design, it should be thematic for whatever experience we shared. It could be, I don't know, a design of that first ship. What was it called? The experiment.
The very
Chimera?
first ship.
Yeah, it could be.
Chimera.
It could be a picture of the Chimera. It could be.
It could be a picture of a chimera.
Yeah, don't chimeras have like 3 heads or something?
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, I say a stylized 3-headed chimera.
Thinking of the Hydra, the Chimera. The Chimera is just the amalgam of a bunch of different animals, like lion's head on a goat's body with, a scorpion tail and eagle's wings, and breathes fire, and also it's not a scorpion's tail, it's a snake for a tail. Yeah.
All right.
In Greek mythology, it was a fire-breathing female monster with a lion's head, a goat's body, and a serpent's tail.
Then we could just simplify it and get a lion's head.
No.
No, I like the idea of it being obviously a chimera.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. All right. So we all have tattoos of chimeras now that show up when we speak a code word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And they're all, I guess the code words could be our own thing, and I don't think we need to get more into that. But yeah, cool. Nice. Oh, that feels so cool.
Good touch. Good touch.
Yeah. I like
next step.
Now we have matching tattoos.
You do indeed.
So do we want to meet with the Ducksmiths?
Yeah. Nick, is there anything more to be gained from interacting with the Docksmiths in character? I remember you saying before that we'd gotten pretty much everything.
I mean, you've gotten the success. They're definitely willing to help you push your paperwork through. You haven't filed your paperwork yet, though.
I see.
Oh, okay.
Well, we need to do that.
Yes, I imagine they'll need our paper, our numbers and whatnot to push through.
Yeah. Do we need to change our names? Were the names part of the APB?
Your names are indeed on the APB.
All right. From now on, you'll refer to Iris as Magnolia. I'll get back at you with that in a second here. Hold on.
Yeah, coming up with a name is hard. It took me like 3 days to come up with Alaska. I'll get back
it doesn't have to be a name that anyone's going to call you. It's just going to be the name on your paperwork.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
believe it or not, Ogden's name didn't take me a long time to come up with.
Yeah,
I don't believe you, Tom, but that's okay.
You all should just build families of characters and then just use the next one for the next season. No.
I could. I do play a lot of Isoki.
You do. They're probably all related anyway.
It's just that was our Starfinder characters.
Yeah. Society characters. Yeah.
Society characters, yeah.
I'll just call her Adele DeWitt, which is one of the characters that basically she was based on.
Lord.
Excellent.
So I imagine you guys probably, hit the hay and go in the morning at this point.
Sure.
Having spent most of your day shopping and getting augmentations and things like that.
Iris does hit the hay, but not until after a long, drawn-out period of just staring into the abyssal blackout through the hangar bay and just trying to figure out what it all means.
As one does.
Does he figure it out?
Do they? Do they?
Do they figure it out?
They do not.
Shane.
Maybe tomorrow.
Ogden, in the morning, you got one of those anonymous messages that says, "I won't let you take what you came here for."
Interesting.
Ogden reads it and does what Ogden does and actually goes and talks to the party about the weird thing that happened to him.
Doesn't set as unread. That's what I do.
Yeah, no, I don't leave them on red. Well, I do leave them on red. But do I? No. Ogden will text back. I'm sorry, you must have the wrong number. Oh, I can't text.
There's no back. Return comm code. No.
It's an anonymous email. Anonymous.
Yeah, all right. Oh, yeah, it's like a blind CC.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Ogden goes to the rest of the group in the morning as we're all eating breakfast and says, I got an interesting communication. Somebody seems to know that we're here. Has anybody else received these?
Iris, eating their cereal, just kind of looks up, flicks their eyes back and forth a couple of times, and all of a sudden you've got a message being pushed to your phone from them as well. It's the message that they got the other day.
Which is similarly unsigned and has no return address.
Lasco will do his best to try to figure out where they came from, but I expect that his efforts come up for naught.
Give me a computers check.
$31.
Ooh,
much heavy.
That'll do it. You managed to track the IP address to an apartment nearby.
Well, still working on his Wheaties. Lasco will say, it came from an apartment nearby. We should take a look.
Yes, I agree. I didn't think to trace the IP. Ogden's still getting used to doing computer things.
Having computer skills.
Yeah, he only picked him up at level 5. Maybe. Yeah. And Ogden has changed his appearance. His scales darken. He gets 6 inches taller. I don't think he's gonna look like a female Vesk yet. He'll save that particular disguise for a different, for when if we're in trouble and he needs to make a drastic change. But yeah, so Ogden has changed using his morphic skin.
All right.
Looks a little more muscly too. Yeah.
It is now a pale-skinned, light-haired elf with blue accents instead of pink ones.
All right. I presume Iris is still doing his I'm a human thing. I'm a human thing.
Yes. Iris is still doing their human thing.
Lasco will spend some time putting together a disguise. Just as a different male Yasuki. Oh, that's not a good roll.
Oh, no.
I will spend some more time to make a better disguise.
That's why disguise checks are supposed to be secret.
Fair enough.
Yes.
All right, we can go with the 14 if you want.
It'll be mostly fine. So you guys are headed to this apartment where the messages are coming from?
Yep.
Or are you going to go to the OCI office first?
Apartment seems fine. It's right there.
Yeah, I mean, everything's pretty close together. It's a space station. It's got 150,000 people on it, but it's still not that big.
I mean, we can go through the paperwork if okay.
You can do it in either order. So it's up to you guys. You find these boxy little tiny apartments that are all exactly the same, and come to the one where the IP signal originated from. When you knock, no one answers.
Windows, other entrances, circling the building.
No, there's no windows. It's a box.
Mr. Lasker, perhaps you could jimmy the lock?
Lasco nods and works on the lock.
Give me an engineering. Yep, that'll do it.
Keeps
23. Ooh, +2 for facilities. I don't know if this counts.
Sure.
If anybody walks by, Adelaide is doing her best to look as if she's locked herself out of her apartment and has hired Mr. Lasko to let her in.
Yeah, no one even looks at you guys twice, honestly, as they walk by. And they're like, you get inside and you find like a tiny little efficiency apartment that looks like someone left in a great hurry. You do find, looking around, a collection of books about conspiracies and mysterious invisible alien masterminds, as well as a camera with several candid hollow photos of all of y'all.
What's the earliest one they have of us?
You getting here.
Early.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just like the idea that we're all like...
Your first confrontation with the...
Sorry, candid. Sorry. Continue.
Like the earliest ones are like your conversations with the docksmiths yesterday. You also find an endurance module armor upgrade.
Oh,
those are nice.
Hidden behind some books.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of.
I wonder what they had this for.
Endurance, probably.
Oh,
well, yes, but.
Any other documents? Anything written?
Oh, there's tons written. None of it's digital.
Anything written about us?
Oh, no, not about you guys.
What is it about?
Greys, Dyskepsians. Yes. Lots.
Dyskepsians.
Does it seem like mostly true stuff or a lot of true mixed in with false?
I mean, like any research on our invisible alien masterminds, it's a solid mix of truth and fiction.
Okay, so it doesn't seem like he has any like great insights that we'd lack. Okay.
No, but he's definitely interested in the, invisible alien masterminds, as this book puts it.
Are there any like cameras in the unit?
No. Not other than the one that you found and that had hollow photos of you.
Okay, and we can't. Is there any way we can figure out where he may have went, or when he left, or why he left?
It's not obvious. No.
Okay. Well, it's possible that he was observing. He obviously knew that we were onto him. They obviously knew that we were onto them. They may have bugged our ship, and thus would know when I said where they were. We should probably do a thorough search.
Yes, I wish I could help with that.
Iris has a scanning kit. That should help. And I'm rather perceptive. Well, if there's nothing else for us to see here.
Anyone want to put their own spy cam here? In case they return?
If I had one.
This is where I'd put my spy cam. Yeah.
Since I expect it won't actually matter, can we just say we buy a cheap spy cam and hide it here and point it into this room?
They're never coming back.
I mean, you could go get one, I suppose.
I don't think they're coming back.
All right.
Yes, somebody with this level of paranoia and awareness, accidental though it may be, would probably not return.
Agreed. All right, then we go over our ship with a fine-toothed comb. That'll probably take a while.
You go back to your ship and comb every inch of it.
For bugs.
Make sure we don't have bugs.
You guys take like
actually, no,
3 hours going over every square inch of your ship. Find nothing.
Good. It's what we like to not find.
It leaves the question, how did they know that we were aware of them?
Perhaps mystical means, scrying of some kind.
Yes.
It's not out of the question, especially orbiting Liavara, where many are said to be in tune.
Are there like protections we can get that would make our ship impossible to scry within?
Probably.
That feels like a very, very science fantasy thing to do, right? But
yeah. And also very thematic for this AP. Let's look into it after the session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
just in case our ship with lead, it'll be fine.
Oh, also I noticed that I have so I decided on Adelaide gets level 3 spells. And I decided on Glimpse of Truth, which is like a shorter version of True Seeing. So for a round, once a day, or as many times as she casts it, which once a day, she can see all things within 120 feet as they actually are. So seeing through normal and magical darkness, noticing secret doors hidden by magic, the exact locations of creatures or objects that are invisible or displaced, seeing through illusions, and seeing the true form of changed or transmuted thing.
Nice.
Can we say that I cast that when we were in the cubbyhole apartment, just to check for anything?
Sure, but you don't find anything.
Okay, just checking.
No.
I have no other ideas. Should we talk to the docksmiths?
Yes, let us continue on.
I believe our appointment is fairly soon.
Oh no, that wasn't our next thing. That was
You still haven't filed your paperwork.
Okay, we do that.
On your way, like the OCI office is easy enough to find. Y'all can, Upwell maps it, and you're heading that way when a Yosoki stalks up to the group, storms up to you, right up to Lasco, and screams, "You jerk! I want Malo back!" and tries to slap you.
I'm afraid you have a case of mistaken identity. As Lasco, I guess, takes the slap.
You're gonna take the slap? Okay. So you get slapped. And what do you say for yourself?
I'm afraid you have a case of mistaken identity, friend.
What kind of probably diplomacy?
It sounds diplomatic.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
I'm gonna sense motive on this person.
This person is mad because Lasco cheated on them, apparently.
Oh.
And took Malo, whatever that is. Whoever that is.
What is a Malo?
You're the jilted lover. Malo, our pet Squawks. You took him and I want him back.
You really must be mistaken.
I get it. Yosoki all look alike, but shouldn't you be able to tell each other apart?
Lasco, I'm still waiting for that diplomacy check.
Oh, yeah, I thought Ms. Fortwith would roll it. That's what I hired her for.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you're the one who said it.
Yeah, I thought Ms. Fortwith would talk to her about it because that's what I hired her for.
All right, 33 for diplomacy. reading Lasco's body language, I guess, Adelaide will step in and place a hand on Lasco's shoulder and sort of like position herself in between this person and Lasco. I'm sorry. This is not... I don't think this is who you think it is. What did you just call my friend? What name did you just call my
Jerk,
friend?
because that's what he is?
Yes, but who do you think he is?
How's this jilted lover taking, being talked to by someone other than who they're jilted by?
I mean, she rolled a 32.
33.
33. So, I mean, that's obviously Steven.
I'm very sorry.
Ogden will surreptitiously lean down to Lasco while this is happening. Are you sure this isn't somebody that you know from... You don't have any memories of this?
So I did look into that, like, politician, right? Was his name was not, I assume, Stephen?
It was indeed.
It was Stephen.
But I made...
Or something I like better. That would be fine, too. You just didn't give me anything, so I made something.
Made up Steve.
Yeah, no, that's Well, I require 48 hours to come up with any new name, so we'll make it Steve for now, and we'll retcon it.
Yeah, we can always change it later. It's not a big.
What's your fake name, though?
Well,
do you need like 48 hours for your fake name as well?
Yes, so I'll need a total of 4 days to come up with both names.
Oh my god.
Anyway, don't worry about that.
Worse than DMV.
She calms down a little bit at like Adelaide's first check here.
Yes, this is a common misunderstanding. You'll notice that my eyes are very different colors, and my legs are actually made out of are actually metal, which are not properties.
No, they're made out of robot.
Made out of robot, which are not properties that Congressman Steve
Senator
possesses.
Steve.
Senator Steve.
Well, anybody can change those things. I need a second diplomacy check to calm her down completely. So,
how long have you been feuding with the senator? That's 21.
That's I just fail to see how asking this question is going to calm her down.
Yes, sorry. Okay.
And convince her that she has the wrong person.
Okay, so she has the wrong person.
Yeah, our goal here is not to find things out. Our goal here is to stop.
Mr. Smith, I'm sorry. Mr. Smith and I arrived on the station only a day ago. I am not familiar with the senator, but I can confidently say that my friend here is not him.
Oh. I'm sorry. You look just like him. I didn't mean to make it.
I rolled poorly on my disguise check.
Probably long gone. Along with Milo.
Why do you say that? Hurry to leave or something?
It's been several months. I saw you and you look just like him. And anyway, I'm sorry. Here, take these hover skates. They were Steve's, and I don't want them anymore.
Thank you. Oh. You have my condolences. I understand. If I ever see him, I will make sure he. I will make sure that he returns Mallow.
Thanks. I appreciate the sentiment anyway. Sorry again. And she sort of goes off. to the crowd.
Someone check the infosphere to see if the senator's been missing? You'd think that would make news.
The senator has not been missing.
This is probably just his secret mistress.
Yeah, she hadn't seen him for several months, so he probably just left without telling her.
And took her squawks, though. That's just cruel.
Squawks are very cute.
They are adorable.
I mean, that's
that was
what happens
unfortunate.
with pets and breakups. One person takes them, and the other one is mad about it.
It's true.
Just why you shouldn't have pets with significant others until, been together like 80,000 years.
A lot of years.
Roughly. Yeah. That was very unfortunate. We'll have to work on your disguise skills, Mr. Lasco.
Indeed. I really thought one rank would be enough. Who could have guessed?
Yes, I mean, you are good at a lot of things. You'd think it would just sort of click. But disguise is not an often used skill, you see. Nobody ever builds for it.
So true. So true.
Well,
Iris casually looks at their 6 ranks in disguise.
All right. Nobody besides Leaf ever built for it.
Since we'll be dealing with this sort of problem for the rest of our lives, I should probably invest in it.
Yes, might not be a bad idea.
As you're wrapping up this conversation, you sort of come to the end of your walk. The OCI building is at the end of a wide, well-lit plaza lined with other corporate offices. This looks like it could be easily the cleanest and most open space you'll find on Upwell. There are holo displays lining the area that show sweeping vistas and sunny cloudscapes, though it's marred by the occasional burst of static. Inside, the building is designed to accommodate Barathus first and foremost. So while the reception area and the meeting rooms are like totally accessible to you, you notice there's no stairs that go up to the offices above, because you need to be able to fly to get up there. Because
whatever, I've got a climb speed.
Inhabitants fly. You don't put stairs in. There's a bored-looking Barathu at the reception desk with a nameplate that says Cabins Psi Real. As you walk in, they, hello, welcome to the OCI. How can I help you?
We need to file some paperwork.
Of course you do. What kind of paperwork can I get you?
Looking to get visas.
Visas. Got it. Passes you data pads with forms on them.
We fill in the forms.
Just fill out these forms, and we will get them filed for you. At this point, it takes about 6 months to secure a visa.
Are there any ways to hasten that process?
Yes, we know of several, but do we have to ask this person?
I'm just asking if she has any more options.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you were working with one of the local corporations, this would likely proceed faster.
Very well.
What about any kind of, is there anything that you can do to hasten our proceedings? Ogden will try and you can use bluff to pass a hidden message, right? Hey, I want to bribe you. Is that cool? Can I do that with a bluff check?
Yes.
Awesome.
As we're going, I'd just like to say, I'm imagining the server from Emperor's New Groove, the one that's just completely deadpan. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Barathu.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a giant gas bag.
It's been too long.
That is a 20 bluff check.
the DC?
So I don't know. But Ogden will continue and say, yes, you see, we're in a bit of a hurry, and we have the means to make things go faster if that is something that you are able to do.
I could probably point you to some people who would be amenable.
Excellent. Well, then we'll get right to filling out this paperwork while and you let us know if there's anybody that we could talk to about that. Thank you very much.
You guys can also try to cozy up to the receptionist. Never a bad idea when you're trying to,
let's see. So I'm gonna do a sense motive to see if I can figure out something we have in common. So that's a 28 plus 3 is 31.
They board corporate receptionists. Unlike bribing higher up officials, bribing receptionists is much easier.
They get paid way less.
Yes. But you could probably just be nice.
Well, so more like I was looking around their desk for things like, do they have any bobbleheads from favorite favorite?
This seems like the sort of thing where you can just say that you see the bobblehead.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed that they have a collection of bobbleheads featuring characters from a popular Hollywood series. And then I just chat with them about that and how much I like that show too. And all of our secret fan conspiracy theories and stuff. And that's a diplomacy check for, 33.
33. Nice.
I recommend a couple of fan sites that they haven't heard of.
Yeah. Cavin's quite likes you after this conversation. No one ever talks to them about stuff they like. Everybody just wants their help all the time. And that will count as a success for pushing your paperwork through.
Ooh.
Kevin sort of makes sure it stays at the top of the stack.
Sweet.
All right, just need one more. Yeah, just need some more successes so we don't have to get those corporate drone jobs.
Yeah, avoid that at all costs.
And she does, in fact, point you guys to some officials who could, might take bribes to speed your paperwork along, and also to a couple of local travel agencies that could sell you the high priority luxury tickets, which would also automatically bump your visa priority. However, those are expensive. Either of those techniques is going to cost you 5,000 credits.
Cripes.
I don't have
that. We spend it all on surgery and
yeah. We replaced our bodies already.
We might have 5,000 credits between all of us, but
is that 5,000 per person or 5,000 total?
Total.
I imagine total.
Yeah. So that's doable.
5,000 total.
There you go. Yeah,
this is part of why Adelaide didn't spend all of her money.
Yeah,
probably a last resort. I'd rather not have to sacrifice 5,000 credits on an AP budget.
Yeah. All right. So we don't have. So our only leads right now are those two options, which are both very expensive, and the corporate jobs. Is that true? There aren't any other gangs we can work with.
You have the friends in low places. We can do a scene with them for funsies, but you have it. Because you were nice to the docksmiths, so you got it automatically.
Okay, but there aren't any other gangs we can work with to get successes.
We could hack the OCI's systems.
Mm-hmm.
You could. In fact, during your conversation with Cavins, you found out that their system is air-gapped. So you'd have to get up into those offices up there where there's no stairs, to hack the computer.
Luckily.
Easy.
Problem.
All right. So while Adelaide is talking to the secretary about their favorite fan theories, Lasco will slip away, climbing up the wall at 50-foot move speed.
Give me a stealth check, my friend.
Please, Toki Gecko climbing the wall, just...
That's
nothing to see here.
No one notices Lasco run up the wall with a natural 20 on his stealth check for 39. Lasco is just a blur along the wall and quickly finds the computer. I need a computers check to disable. I guess that first one's for the security system after hours. But you up there, so there is no security system, and 25 computers is just enough to hack the computer, and then I need one more
to hide the evidence.
To forge additional documents on the computer to sort of, make when they go to check your applications, everything will be in order. Like there won't be anything weird. And this one's an opposed check that I will.
Oh no, I would like to. Do we have any rerolls?
Yes, we do.
You do indeed have a few of them. This one is from Trippy.
Come on, big numbers. It's not a big number. Should we use another reroll? It was a 1 in
this feels important.
All right.
This feels important. Go ahead.
Okay, this one's from Ghost.
Thanks, Ghost.
That's you did.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
You think you did?
That's what.
Yeah. That's about average for me. All right, and then I slip back.
And give me a stealth check to get back out, just in case. See if they catch you running around their offices.
27 stealth.
Nope, they don't catch you running around their offices. You just zip right back out, man.
So sneaky.
This really brings me back to my younger days, or at least my younger days. Yes.
I am
just sort of make sure that you have like legit IDs with the names that you put on the forms.
Yeah.
So that when they run your forms, there won't be any roadblocks.
Cool.
Very nice. And you get back just as like everyone's handing their paperwork back to Cavens. Says, "Good luck. I'll make sure that you stay at the top of the stack for you guys."
Thank you.
Much appreciated. Okay.
Head back to our ship. I guess that's 3.
It is.
Yeah,
technically.
Right?
We can still do the where you go talk to the docksmiths and sort of, say, "Hey, can you help push this stuff through?" Wiggle. But
sure.
You're going to succeed that one without a whole lot of
wiggle.
Trouble. So if you guys want to head there, you can do that.
Iris will let you guys go do that. They're going to go back and work on their pet project a bit more.
Given that the conclusion is already determined and that we know the conclusion and that the audience knows the conclusion, I don't think we need to do that scene.
Okay. Well,
yeah, we can just...
as you all head back to the ship, please give me sense motive check. Sure. Moving through the crowd along the street here.
23. Oh, bad rolls.
24.
Be upset by my 18. I rolled a 7.
19. I rolled a 3.
Well, everybody.
That's not right. Hold on.
Hold on, Nick's gonna say something.
Everybody but Adelaide picks up on this guy sort of walking the other way towards you. And like the aggression and anger towards you in his eyes. You can also give me a perception.
Oh, gladly.
There.
Gosh, that's quite the neck, isn't it?
Oh my lord! If I could not with my
Specialized.
skill checks.
Ogden
got
rocked 39.
Ogden, you notice his bloodshot eyes and the flecks of spittle at the corners of his mouth. Which means everybody, except Adeline, sadly, gets to act in the surprise round. There's not a map for this one.
We can do
You guys
theater.
we're gonna theater of the mind this one.
Yeah.
You guys, I mean, you're on a crowded street, so there's not a lot of, like, the passersby are gonna scatter. Not a whole lot of There's not a whole lot of terrain stuff going on. It's just this one guy.
Are we supposed to be seeing our tokens?
Well, the tokens
Yeah,
are useful
just throw them on the map
for initiative.
Yeah, we're dragging them on for initiative.
and for tracking your health and stuff.
I didn't realize that I needed to drag on.
Another
I
day
can do
has
that.
passed. Can I assume that I've recovered the last of my HP?
Oh yes. You guys had
Especially
20.
with Ogden
It took-
doing medicine on you.
Well, even just with regular convalescing, I would have recovered the last 3 hit points that I was missing. Actually, hold on. It was 47.
Liz, can you drag
I
Adelaide
lied,
onto
it's-
the map?
I've tried
7.
multiple times. It hasn't worked.
It's 7 HP, and that's exactly what I can recover in a night's rest. So I am good without Ogden's help this
I
time.
can.
Well, fine.
There you go.
Ogden can still put a
Thank you.
Band-Aid on Iris and kiss their boo boo if you must. They secretly appreciate being taken care of.
I have 2 Lascos.
Huh.
One must
I
be
don't
left over. So
My last go is 24.08.
yep. I went back and checked.
I don't see Adelaide anywhere.
Have you rolled initiative?
Should be.
I've tried.
Adelaide should be on the middle of the map. Do you see our 3 tokens? Adelaide
Nope.
should be between Lasco and Iris.
I see no tokens of any
Yeah.
kind.
Do you see a space station?
I see nothing.
Have
I
you tried
recommend
reloading the
refreshing.
page?
Okay.
Yeah, you might need to reload the page.
That sounds like a browser issue, not a permissions issue. Though I guess it could be vision. We'll see.
There's no vision on this map. It's just a picture.
And on this map,
Oh, there's combat music. Is it too quiet? I think it's too quiet.
Oh, you just noticed the combat
Yeah.
music. Oh my god.
Well, no. So my audio is different than the stream's
Okay.
audio.
Okay. Yeah,
All right,
stream
I
is
see
always.
this guy. I see
let us
me.
know if you need balance.
Yay!
You've done it. Now click your token and roll initiative, and then enter your first
Okay.
initiative.
Working on it.
In the meantime, Lasco, you get to, since Adelaide's not in the surprise round, Lasco, you get a mover, a standard, as you notice this guy walking towards you, murderous intent in his eyes.
Lasco will dash forward and say, "Friend, friend, this is not a good fight to pick." And assuming he reacts hostilely, Lasco
he's
will, and Lasco will attack him subdually.
Okay. Iris will be,
Oh, that's
oh, right,
God.
you can do your trick attack as with a move and everything. It's just a standard.
yeah.
Ugh. Gotta roll that trick again.
Oh, goodness, yeah. Roll your extra trick attack damage.
40. No, another 48.
Hopefully not 48. 48.
Yeah, so 19 plus 21 plus 14.
54.
Goodness heckin' gracious.
That's a hell of an
Iris,
opener, Simon.
Uh-huh.
you also get a mover as standard in the surprise round.
Iris is going to double down on that and just say you really don't want to, and it'll be an intimidate to shake.
Okay.
That's only a 13. I am just going to stop rolling skill checks today, guys. I'm done. That's it. That's my last check. Everything else is going to be punch or nothing.
Ogden, you also get a move or it's better than strike.
I guess Ogden will. I mean, he'll just draw his injector pistol. He's not a cool unarmed strike boy, so he's going to do the normal thing and draw an injector pistol. Sorry for the motorcycle that went by as I was talking. He draws his injector pistol and sights down it at this guy, simultaneously trying to determine what he's on or what's going on in his head. Could I perhaps make a medicine check or something if I saw bloodshot eyes?
You could indeed make a medicine check.
I would indeed make a medicine check. It's a natural toot for a 21.
Let me press the toot.
There's
Toot is a 21, while mine was a 13. I'm mad.
Listen, all this is wisdom based for me.
Yeah, it's true. That is a good question. You know what? I have it right here. You can definitely tell there's something wrong with him because, like, your check still comes out to a 21, right?
Yeah, it's on some sort of drug, maybe. Like, do I get that or?
It seems it's not a drug. What? So, but it looks it's probably some kind of like a symbiote or a biotech augmentation of some sort. There's something weird going on, like for sure, but you can't pin down exactly.
Something to explain the weird redness on his neck, perhaps. Weird red bulge. Yeah,
but looking at it, it looks. You're not sure exactly what it is, but you know it's either some sort of symbiote or some sort of biotech affecting him and doing that. But you're not sure exactly which one per se.
Ogden will call out to the party. Try not to kill this man. He has some sort of augment in him or something that might be compelling him to do this. And that's my turn.
Very well.
You know what? Have we ever given you reason to worry?
Yes, I remember distinctly.
We're all a bunch of Care Bears in this party.
You are with free actions. He's yelling, "You're with them! I won't let you take me!" And then we go back to the top of the round for real, and it'll be Lasco.
I believe this is our anonymous messenger.
Yeah, for our edification, just because I want to know, where are we sitting at with rerolls and nat 20s and stuff?
Oh, you have a nat 20. You have one reroll and 1+1.
Good.
So if I recall, Iris is not adjacent to him, right? You did the intimidate check without moving.
Would I have been able to make that intimidate check and move?
I mean, you were all like coming up to cross each other on the street. So you do need like one move to close in still.
Okay.
Let's go delays until after.
Because you stop maybe 10 feet apart, 5-10 feet apart. So.
Iris will close the distance then, and then they can strike at the same time. Trying to... Actually, no, I have a better one. Iris is going to move up and do a new thing that it's not really new that I just haven't been able to do yet. We're going to go for a grapple.
A grapple?
Oh, really?
You're going for a gravel?
Yes, a gravel.
Do you have the feet?
No, a grapple. I do have the feet. Even with that feat, I rolled a 5. Guys, I can't roll above a 5. I'm going to find Nolan and give him... I'm taking the reroll. I'm taking the reroll.
All right.
No, reroll.
Make it happen.
That's better.
That's
Except,
better.
you know, since it's a combat maneuver in Starfinder.
Yeah, it's still probably not good enough.
It's still not enough.
Yeah.
It's very sad. Did last go delay? Did I miss it?
Last go delayed, yes.
Okay.
And now that he is flanking. Oh, whoops, did that in the wrong order, sorry. Oh boy. That 29. Is... Yeah.
30 damage.
30, yep. 30 non-lethal.
Goodness. Oh, that's right. We're level 7. Lasco's gonna like consistently trick attack nowadays. How exciting.
That 8 is permanent.
And then Adelaide.
All right. Adelaide will pass. Ego whip.
Oh no!
I get because whip. I get it.
Oh yeah. Like
I don't even know if Liz did that.
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
Ego whip. Indiana Jones theme. You hummed the Indiana Jones theme, Liz.
Oh, huh.
How did you not? Okay, let's move on.
Yeah. Subconscious.
All right, so he fails.
Yeah, I figured he'd have a low will.
Takes a bunch of minuses and is staggered. Okay.
Yep. Nice.
Ogden.
No full attacks for him.
Okay, well, Ogden almost feels bad shooting this guy now. He's been crit, he's been punched a bunch, he's now had his mind assaulted, but yeah, Ogden will pile on, non-lethally. I really should just... I should buy a Merciful Fusion for this stupid pistol, so I don't have to worry about that, but... I'm gonna shoot the guy at a -4 penalty to do non-lethal damage, and I'll even throw in a Mark II sedative. I'll tell you what.
What a
yeah. So this is -4, whatever this comes out. That is a 26 to hit KAC.
That'll do it
for
versus
9 points of non-lethal piercing plus 5 sedative. So total of 14 damage.
This guy hits the floor. And this is why we didn't need a map in any way.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't set up a map. Yeah.
We drag him into a nearby alley and go over his pockets just to see if he's got anything on him that might explain his motivation for attacking. Or anything useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get, like, are the corporate police interested in this, or?
No.
Okay.
People just sort of
nobody seems to be paying
out
attention.
of the way. It was like an 18-second altercation.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, we cleaned it up real quick.
Indeed.
All right. Let's search him and then wake him up in the comfort of our own ship and see if he knows something useful.
Yeah.
You take him back to your ship?
No, not yet. First, look through his stuff.
We're going to weekend at Bernie's him back there.
Also, Ogden, perhaps you could do a more thorough medical examination now that we have him here.
Yes, I suppose I could. Want to do this out in the open?
We're
put him into an alley.
Yeah.
Alleys are very secure.
Alley is fine. Yes.
Are you going
Ogden, prepared first for examinations.
Your ship.
An alley.
Alley first, ship later.
Yes.
We're not waking him up yet.
Ha! Ha! He had heavy armor on.
He did.
It's like, wait, maybe it's bad heavy armor. Hold on. Vesk overplay?
It's probably not like level 7 or level 8, whatever Leif got, but now they've just walked away again.
It finally happened.
It's level 6. It's level 6.
Okay, all right. Leif, come back. It wasn't even that good.
No, it's pretty good. It's 9-11.
Okay. Theirs was, I think, 10-12 or something.
So one worse.
Yeah. Well,
that's rough.
can Ogden make a more thorough medicine check? Perhaps I have a subdermal extractor, which could let me scan. I believe it lets me scan the guy and subsequently remove, microchips and whatnot from his body.
That's true.
Interesting idea. Do you know that there are chips there? I guess that's the first step.
It lets you scan. In fact, it comes with a scanner. So what I'm asking and letting you know for my tools is that I would like to make another medicine check on this poor man and see if he is under the influence of something.
Yeah, you may absolutely do that.
Excellent. Here comes the medicine. That's only a 24.
4. I'm trying to find the rules for getting rid of this thing. This is using, now that you have a lab and some time and all of your equipment, this is a Demoratosh's arm symbiote that is attached to him. You know that these things. Actually, give me a life science to know about these things.
Oh, also, I
suppose you can Pokedex it. Never mind, you're gonna get it. You got your thing that lets you identify whatever you want.
Okay. Yeah, that's a 35 then.
Yeah. So these things they bury their legs into the flesh and eat hormones, especially epinephrine. They're incredibly aggressive, and they bond almost exclusively to predators and are popular among pirates and warlords. As the constant trickle of adrenaline they create results in vicious, fearless soldiers. So they're particularly mean. How the heck do you get rid of symbiotes? Or symbians. You can remove them. I don't have rules, so you can attempt surgery with. Aha! Yeah, give me a medicine check.
I actually have the subdermal extractor. Also has rules for this if you want. But I'll make the medicine check first. That is a 24. I would like to re-roll that or use a +1 because the DC on my end looks like 25. This typically requires to remove anomalous materials.
Yeah, and the base symbiont thing is where it was. It is a D to 25. This is a +1 from Ghost.
Yay!
Thanks Ghost. You possibly saved this man's life. Maybe. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
So you
does it feel to be a hero, Ghost?
I don't think he's here right now. I think he left to go die horribly in Kingdom.
Well,
Death
he'll
Monster.
listen later.
But yes, you do manage to remove this symbiont from this guy's neck.
Nice.
Successfully. You now have a symbiont.
What's that?
Ogden puts it in a sample. Yeah, in a sample thing that he probably has in his custom microlab. He just pulls something out, drops whatever it is in there, and sort of looks at it before putting it back in a box.
Super glues the top shot.
Which I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I see a synergizing symbiote. Is that the same?
No, this is the Demoratosh's arm symbiont.
I imagine it's unique to this AP, Simon.
Yeah, well, it's gone now.
From Alien Archive. It's on page 112. You cannot sell it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't sell.
It is not an item. It is a creature.
Got it.
Yeah, and we don't sell creatures. We're not baddies.
Yeah. Even when they're parasites that turn people into mindless berserkers. Yes.
All right, let's wake him up.
Yes, there seems to be more to this gentleman than we thought.
Yes, perhaps he'll be able to tell us where he got this augment installed. this creature, I should say, installed. And Ogden will give him some smelling salts, wake him up.
He's probably like pinned down by something.
We've tied him up.
Yeah.
Sure. Restrained.
Where am I? What's good? Ah! No!
You're on our ship.
He panics and then faints. Because you have him in the med bay and you just woke him up.
And he's restrained and there's bright lights everywhere and yeah, okay. If he's been abducted by Greys or whatever before, this is triggering.
That would be a pretty solid assumption.
Mm-hmm.
At this point,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Somewhere that looks less like a Grey medical bay.
Iris puts their hand on Ogden's shoulder and says, "Maybe you should let me handle this one." And they kind of take him out into the.
Don't beat him up.
No, of course not. Iris takes him out and takes him to the galley, and we wake him up there with some food.
I was going to say we've got plenty of guest rooms. Set him up in a guest room.
Nah, we'll take him to the galley. The galley's locked. I know we've seen like a really good detailed map of the ship before, but do we have that in a handout format?
Not in a handout format, but I can put you guys back on.
Oh, that would be wonderful, actually, because I was going to say, I know the galley is like in a pretty good secluded spot, and we could just lock the only door into it. Yeah, 13, I think it is.
This is where you were at.
Yep.
I was thinking if we put him in a room, in a bed, and then I come in with like a tray of chicken soup or something.
Nah, we're still interrogating him. We're doing it in a better setting, and we're giving him food here. He doesn't get the 5-star treatment. He just attacked us, even if he was under like brain slug control.
All right, so are we doing room 13 instead of room 9?
13.
For the record. Brain slugs are different.
Yes, sorry. Somebody's been saying brain slugs all day, and it's in my it's worked its way into my brain somehow. It's weird how that word works.
Like some sort of brain slug.
Yeah.
So
all right. So
yeah, we wake him up in here with some food.
There's a hilarious witch warper spell, by the way, that I decided not to take on the subject of brain slugs. Sorry, real quick. There's a hilarious spell that I decided not to take, where you basically like summon a bunch of pixies and they just wreak havoc. And one of their abilities is called Earworm, where I think they
sing a song that gets stuck in your head.
Stuck in your head. Yeah, and
That's
it's
good.
distracting and you can't do anything about it. Sorry, go on.
Iris is just going to post up by the door to make sure, for sure, he can't get out. But we kicked his butt once. We can do it again.
Yeah.
He's only got back a couple of help.
Chair and wake him up, and so he's like sitting at the table when he wakes up.
Mm-hmm.
Is your idea here? He probably jumps out of the chair, putting it between himself and you. No, I won't let you take me. I'm not
Easy,
going
Mr.
back.
Undano. Your enemies are our enemies.
Oh, no, you're with them. I saw it.
We were physically.
What exactly did you see?
You're with them. The ones who abducted me. Yeah. They sent you here. They sent you here to recover me and bring me back. Well, I won't go. I'll die before I go back.
Mr. Undano.
We don't want you to die.
Mr. Undano, we were captured by them as well. That's why you saw us with them.
What they would say.
Is there something you can tell us about them that will help us destroy them?
First off, sense motive.
Yeah, let's sense motive.
Okay. 26.
And second of all, I still need Miss Portwith to weigh in here. Because
Yeah,
her job is...
I've been looking for like a chance.
You all realize this guy is like clinical paranoid levels. Like, you're not going to convince him not to be paranoid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it wasn't the brain slug that was doing it.
It wasn't a brain slug. It was a hormone slug.
I'm gonna call it a brain slug, though.
Just gave him some
better.
Right.
Some aggression.
Yeah, it doesn't make people paranoid. It makes them into like super soldiers who aren't afraid of things.
Mm-hmm.
You removed the thing that was making him not afraid.
I see.
Oh,
he ended his treatment too soon.
Ogden recognizes this mentally, and decides to move on anyway, because he's not going to put it back in the guy.
Yeah, it's probably bad.
No, we can just Iris very non-lethally knocks the guy back out, and we can just dump him in an alley somewhere. Or better yet, let's hold on.
No, he's got a name.
No, we should.
He has a name. He's a potentially useful NPC.
I don't
definitely
know about that. It sounds like he's a very unuseful NPC, and we should leave him so we may further these stories.
We should try and get information from him.
Mm-hmm. And So Ogden, are there any sedatives that you can administer that would have a calming effect on him? Like,
so
to reduce the paranoia.
There's a couple weird ones that I have access to that I never use. Oh no, those are excitants. That's the opposite of what we need. But I have no, not really. There's not much that Ogden could just sort of whip up in a snap. But he is let's see, stimulants and excitants. Yep. So I've got those, and then no poisons or anything like that. I know there's a poison that actually makes you more amenable to suggestion and whatnot, more suggestible, but I don't have anything like that on me.
Okay.
So, in short, no.
Then, and we've established that there's no way to No, I do not. I was going back and forth between Charm Monster and Glimpse of Truth, or Haste, if you recall. And everyone requested Haste and Glimpse of Truth, because it's nice to be able to see the true nature of things.
Charm Monster doesn't work on humanoids.
It doesn't?
Oh, really? I thought Charm Monster is strictly better than Charm Humanoid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was as Charm Person, except it works on monstrous humanoids or something.
And it's a Pathfinderism. I thought it was the other way.
No. Even in Pathfinder, Charm Monster was just strictly better than Charm Person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maybe I'm just crazy. Anyway.
You're not crazy.
No.
Okay, so we can't charm him, and we haven't had any success diplomacying him.
I haven't had to diplomacy him yet. Everybody was talking over me.
Talk over us.
That doesn't make for good listening.
Anyway, your sense motive, this guy,
Yeah, I don't understand how we're going to diplomacy crazy, guys. I genuinely don't think that we have anything further to gain from this.
Is terrified of you. He is absolutely convinced that the Greys sent you to take him back.
That's unfortunate. I mean, so here's the thing. Like, Adelaide doesn't particularly care about his well-being. She's Adelaide. Liz thinks that Iris would likely care about his well-being because, I mean, we sort of abducted him and found that he had this problem, and now we've taken sort of responsibility for him. But if Iris just wants to, dump him in an alley somewhere, seems unethical.
Perhaps we could drop him off at the nearest medical station. There to be taken care of by
trained professionals.
The station's Yes, and this way at least we know that he's not going to get shot raving in the streets by anybody who he might accost.
Excellent. We drive by, slow down enough to shove him out the door, and keep going.
Yeah.
You all are sort of standing by the door, having this conversation. His eyes are darting from one of you to the other as you do this.
Iris knocked him out again.
No, he didn't. You woke him up and he put a chair between you and him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let this play out.
Okay.
I don't recall Iris knocking him out again.
He had mentioned doing it, but then we sort of dithered and talked about what we were going to do with the guy instead.
So, you're the GM. What you say goes.
It didn't happen.
On the other side of a chair, looking at us as we're talking about this.
About what you're going to do. Iris was about to knock him out and just drag him out of the room.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all stopped and talked about it instead. Sort of watching the four of you have this conversation, his eyes darting from one to the next. And he bursts out, "But you came all this way and now you're just gonna dump me in an alley? What's going on here?"
Well,
you clearly didn't seem to want to cooperate with us, so you're more of a liability than anything, aren't you?
Now Adelaide's going to make her diplomacy check. And so that's a 31. And actually, can we make that a 32 and say that she did her lip gloss?
Sure.
He says, "What's going on here?" Adelaide will turn to him and say, "Well, that's quite what we wanted to ask you. We were simply walking down the street, and you attacked us. When we incapacitated you, we discovered that you had a symbiote of some kind installed, which we removed. And now we've brought you here to our ship to talk. Would you like some tea?"
No.
Understandable.
No. You came here sending off gray signals for a mile. No cargo on your ship. You just show up out of nowhere, start talking to people. You're obviously up to something.
Gray signals? How did you detect these?
Watching you. You act like grays.
Oh.
Haven't you read anything?
Well, see, we
haven't because you're grays.
Could you just?
And they weren't
very well disguised grays.
We are very well disguised, yes.
Explain to me how I walk like a gray. What is it about me that makes me look like a gray, act like a gray?
He spouts off some technobabble from one of these books that he's been reading.
Your micro expressions.
Okay. He will happily talk your ear off for an hour about every conspiracy theory ever written about the Greys and the Reptoids, and he will bounce back and forth wildly between speculating that you're Greys and then deciding that you're Reptoids instead, especially if you mention anything about Reptoids. But at the end of the day, he doesn't actually know anything.
Okay.
I cannot stand
Ogden will say, I am very sorry.
My character with anxiety for a reason, because it makes me anxious.
Oh, yeah, no, that's enough said. I am sorry that, as it appears that you had a genuine experience with the Greys. I know that you don't believe me when I say that we experienced something similar. I cannot tell you everything. And frankly, nobody will believe you if you try to tell them that we are Greys. Because Greys don't exist, according to society. So, we are at an impasse here. You are not useful to us. You don't trust us. And so, I believe that, and Ogden will turn to the rest of the group. I do think that it is best that we go through with our plan of dropping him at the nearest medical facility to see that he is not on the streets.
Seconded.
Agreed.
Don't do that. Oh, I can't lose my job again.
What's your job?
I'm a dock worker. What's your job?
Oh, entrepreneur.
Our job is escaping the Greys. It's a full-time position.
Lousy pay.
Terrible
benefits.
Lousy pay. Yeah. Well, it's really with all the silver wiring.
If you tell them that I'm talking about Greys again, they're going to lock me up again, and I'm going to lose my job again, and I'm going to have to leave again.
I understand. What would you like us to tell them?
I want you to just leave me alone.
Will you leave us alone?
As long as you're not taking me back to the Greys.
Then I believe we have an agreement.
Indeed.
The door's this way. Have a good life, Mr. and Dano.
How do you know that?
Says it next to your feet here.
Yeah, he still doesn't entirely trust you, but maybe you guys know a little bit more about like what the conspiracy writings about the Greys and the Reptoids sort of say.
All right. So, but does he leave?
Yes, he will leave. He's still gonna keep an eye on you guys. Make sure you're not gonna steal him.
That's
what he's worried about.
We just sort of wave, bye!
Yeah. But I think that's a good point to take our break for the day as you guys let this guy go. You've just about secured your paperwork to head down to Roselight. So when we come back, we'll wrap that up and get you guys on your way.
Oh boy.
Excellent.
Gonna go to Roselight. It'll be way nicer than here.
It will be way nicer than here, that's true.
We'll be moving on up.
You will be moving on up. And when we come back, we'll also reveal the ship name that these guys picked when they changed the transponder on the Void Crier.
Indeed.
So we'll be back at 35 after the hour. Don't go anywhere, folks. Welcome back, everybody. We're a couple minutes later than we said we were going to be. We had some stuff come up during the break, but we promised we would come back and tell you the name of their ship. We got a lot of really great submissions over the course of the week, and the crew voted on their favorites. They ended up settling on the Sterling, which was submitted by... Who submitted that?
Cat Comics Studios.
Oh, good. Okay.
Cat Comics Studios submitted the Sterling, and that's the name these guys are going with. So,
yeah,
there are a lot of good goofy names, but and I was appreciative of those submissions, but it didn't feel right hearing like the Mystery Machine coming out of Lasco's mouth.
Yeah. Where Sterling has the subtle,
machine.
Yes. Whereas Sterling has the like low down Archer vibe to it without being like overt.
I'm pretty sure it was a name before Archer.
Yes, but
yeah, I wasn't thinking about Archer until Leif brought up Sterling Archer, or was it Liz that brought it up? Somebody brought up Sterling Archer today when we were talking about ship names and stuff like that for a final call. But yeah, no, I just like the Sterling. It sounds like it's a nice, clean name. Doesn't have a lot. It's easy to say.
Very James Bond, yeah.
So
that's me talking like more.
Yeah.
And next week we'll let these guys do a little bit of role playing so that they can talk about it in character. Why this is the name they picked, or maybe we'll do it as an icebreaker question. We'll see.
I like that idea.
Yeah, like why this name, or why did you agree to this
about the name?
Yeah. So we'll come back with that next week. For this week, we are going to wrap up. Leif had to step away for a family emergency, and we don't want to go on without them.
Nope.
Because there's big stuff about to happen as these guys secure their visas to head down into Roselight. So we'll pick up next week with finishing that out. Thanks for joining us today and bearing with us as we end early. As always, our music, our theme music is by the wonderful Tom, who also runs our Sirenscape. Sirenscape provides all of our sound effects. Our character art is all by Seth. The rest
also
of the art
provides all of our Wilhelm screams.
and our Wilhelm scream. That's Sirenscape.
I mean, that's what you come here for.
Yeah.
That was Wilhelm scream.
Mistake of Potatoes did all of our character art. All of our other art comes from Paizo. And new Star Lords on Thursday as they venture deeper into Thistletop. New Cosmic Crit tonight. So make sure you check out all that other great content out there. And we'll see you all next week. Say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Take care of yourselves out there.